wolves are generally afraid of humans or avoid them
Mhm.
at all costs because humans are dangerous
And
to
they're
them.
generally very interested in sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why there's no wolves in this part of Europe at this time, because there's been a lot of humans in this area that probably killed them all off. So he began to scream and shout, which being here in Alaska, we know is a popular tactic to use when a wild animal, like in our case, a bear, even though we do have wolves here. I mean, you want to be loud and kind of out there to scare them off.
Yeah. You want to shout, let it all out.
These are the things we could do without.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, these are the things. Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
See, that's actually a song that you know. Wow, that's never happened. I'll usually randomly use lyrics, and you'll be like, okay.
You went into the 80s.
I know. Yeah, that is your prime.
Yeah, I know all the songs from
That is peak Christian in the 80s.
80s to mid 90s. I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's hilarious. So he was screaming and shouting, and it didn't work, of course, because otherwise we wouldn't be telling this story.
That's true, yeah.
The wolf lunged. It ripped off half of his face,
Oof.
destroying his jaw so he could not speak or scream out. A lot of blood in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels that way. You don't get the blood and gore in the demon stories I tell, Christian. I just want to remind you and our listeners of that I keep it G-rated.
I know.
With my demon talk, all right?
We're PG-13. Now, it feels like a good time to have a pitchfork, right? Rural village.
I pictured everyone so far holding one. We're talking about farmers, right? And actually, one question. Did this happen at night or was this daylight? Because when I'm picturing it in my head, it's nighttime.
I think the first attack was daylight because it was late afternoon when they were pretty much done with their work. Yeah,
because I was sitting here like when the wolf was attacking the other people, I'm like, what are they still doing working?
No, it was probably the end of the day. Is what it sounded like, late afternoon.
Gotcha. And I don't know the working hours of a farmer, Christian. I'm just trying to ask questions.
Well,
you know?
In this area, in this time period, they probably don't have lights and stuff like that. So farming ended when the sun started to go down.
Nice.
But the husband was away, and by the time the wolf got there, it sounds like it was dark. Of course, I'm going to explain that it was dark because you seem to mention things just before. You're like, I'm going to ask a question, and I've learned
I'm very intuitive
to answer these questions when I'm getting better. Like,
Sorry that I'm so inquisitive, Christian.
No, it's good to see we're on the same page.
There you go.
Like when you were shouting earlier.
That almost never happens.
No. So hearing the attack, the brother-in-law reached for the handy pitchfork, while his sister carried a lamp out with them to illuminate the darkness. So, in a way, they're kind of badasses already, because you and I would be like, it's dark.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, hey, let me go out with where this wild, rabid wolf man is.
Yeah, what's that gurgling sound?
Yeah, like, oh, great. Here, grab that pitchfork. I'll carry just the lamp, and we'll be fine.
Yeah. The wolf saw the light and went after the woman to try to extinguish the flame.
Okay, I thought it was going to be like a tale of redemption. The wolf saw the light.
Yeah, no, not this time.
He gave his life to Christ right there.
Yep. Nope, I don't think so, because he took her nose.
Oh, yeah. People that...
And cheeks.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't like that little thing you're going to do with your son.
Oops, got your nose.
Yeah, it wasn't that kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be adorable. The wolf was like, ooh, oopsie. Yeah. What's this?
So her husband...
this is the last derailment. The wolf can't do it because he doesn't have opposable thumbs. Unless he's a dogman, in which case, we're back. Never mind.
We're back.
Pulled together.
Yeah. So her husband, the sister's husband, was yelling at her to fight the attack because the wolf was on top of her. And he took his handy pitchfork and hit the wolf with the handle of it. I don't know why he didn't try to stab it. Maybe because his wife was fighting with it.
I feel like the dangerous end of that was not utilized.
Right. So it's broken. He was able to grab the wolf by its fur and started to pull it away from his wife, who took that opportunity to take a knife from her belt and jam it into the animal's mouth, finally killing it. So basically, she shoved her hand up this thing's mouth, slicing and stabbing as it's biting her arm.
And who tried hitting with the other end? Was that the husband?
Yeah. So you know who the badass...
Yeah.
And it also goes back to the little legend about the husband attacking the wife.
Yeah.
Makes you realize maybe the wife was tough enough to where he only could attack her if he changed into a wolf.
Yeah, that husband could have really utilized some stark wisdom there, Christian. and you stab him with the pointy end. That's just the way it works, man. That's just the way it works, right?
That's pretty impressive. I was like, he said
Yeah.
Stark wisdom, and
I
I'm
know.
like, is he
Yeah.
talking about the Starks? And you were.
Maybe I am, yeah.
Well, once you said
Maybe I
when
am.
you stick him with the pointy end,
Yeah,
Arya
I
Stark.
know, yeah. I've heard enough of the show at this point from you that I can probably verbatim tell every detail of it.
I barely talked to you about it.
Oh, okay. We're not even going to go. This has been derailed a third time. Elevator music. And we're back in the story.
I have more to say about that little lie.
Yeah, I'll do you.
Yeah. So after the wolf was killed, actually, I put a line in here. While it seems like an unbelievable story, it is true.
Wow. Well, that's also the case with every other story we tell on this podcast. So
Every other story I tell.
Sure.
After the wolf was killed, it was sent to the same hospital that Maria was at. You may ask why? Because it's a bigger city and they have zoologists there.
But they don't have cryptozoologists there, which is what they need.
They didn't have cryptozoologists in the 50s. That's later.
According to you. All right.
Name one.
Chad Biggingsworth.
It was Chaz.
It was Chad.
Chaz.
I was there.
Can't
I'm
trust.
much older than you know, Christian. No.
I guess so.
I have been around many years.
Was Chad hanging?
It's a reference to voting in the early... Well, you guys don't care about that.
Yeah.
So
That was last century.
Yeah.
Back in the old days.
It's behind us.
Yeah.
Literally.
So they found out the wolf was a female. We're going to go R-rated here for a second.
Earmuffs, kids.
It had 2 mammary glands.
Okay. Well, I guess not super R-rated. Ooh, not the mammary glands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is weird on
A wolf?
any kind of canine for the most part, I guess.
Just 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually you're packing quite a bit.
Unless you're cursed.
That's true, yeah.
Then you just need 2 demon dogs.
They're called hellhounds, Christian.
Or what did we just recently call it in one of our videos?
The adlet?
Yeah.
Entirely different thing. But all right, yes.
Is it though?
More at 11. No.
Yeah. They found out the wolf was not rabid. Sorry, I got stuck there because I put in a smart ass comment that I was like, that makes no sense. Sometimes when you write something funny later, you're like, that's not funny.
Like, that wasn't funny at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that.
No,
I write nothing but pure comedy gold. But that's interesting because that at least means that it's a sane wolf.
Yeah.
It was of sound mind, if you will.
It makes a little bit more sense and could be just coincidental who it attacked if it was rabbit.
Yeah.
I mean, it would still be really weird.
Yeah. It still wouldn't check out.
Like,
but,
even if the wolf didn't know any better, we know the universe cursed that family. If,
yeah.
part of nature is out there just trying to destroy the whole lineage. So villagers, after the attacks, searched their surrounding wolves.
Let's search the surrounding wolves. Empty your pockets, wolf.
Yeah. Villagers in the area of the 2 attacks searched the surrounding woods for signs of a wolf pack. None were found. No rabies to explain the very uncommon attack on humans. No wolf pack. What caused this act of annihilation? Annihilation's a strong word, but it feels like...
I mean, there's not too many other words to describe something like that. You know, I mean, that is a targeted attack on a lineage. Almost, one could argue, Lannister in nature. You know, it could be trying to take out the Starks. But in this case, the wolf is actually...
evil.
Yeah, the wolf would have been a Stark, but instead is being taken down. You know what I mean?
Like the Night's King.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Arya. Yeah.
How do you know about Arya?
Because I told you, you've told me every detail of this show. I know it back and front. I'm almost positive of it.
I think you just
go
know
through the Rolodex of the entire show, and you've probably given me every single detail.
Maybe. So the channel Paranormal Scholar speaks of, and I'm going to try to pronounce this name, a whlle. And a whlle is similar, I looked this part up, is similar to strigoi.
I need you to say that word one more time.
Which one?
Strigoi.
Strigoi.
Okay. There's, yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. But you were like, there was like a really hard lead, and you're like, shh. It was like Sean Connery was over here pronouncing words for you.
So the strigoi, like, now that you made me do it, I can't think of.
Well, good.
Either way.
Think about what you've done. Yeah.
They're undead souls that have risen from the grave to harm living people. While the strigoi possesses, this is from Wikipedia, anthropomorphic qualities similar